Stop buying these multifamilies. Part number 2. You might have seen the first one. Well, here is the second video. If you're looking to buy a multifamily property in northern New Jersey, maybe you're a house hacker, an investor, and you want to get to financial freedom, whatever your goals are, you're gonna want to avoid certain properties. As you saw in the first video, which I'll put in the description below in case you missed it, this is so crucial to follow the tips and tricks in this video, because at the end of the day, there are a lot of people that are buying properties that they should not be buying. Not sure who's selling them on these places, but unfortunately it's happening and there's a lot of question marks. But I'm here to make sure that your next purchase is an efficient one and you don't get caught in that place of not liking investing, because you want to like what you're doing. You want to enjoy the process. You want to be like my wife and I, who have been doing this for over 10 years, yet to miss a single payment of rent, and has absolutely changed our lives by house hacking and real estate investing in northern New Jersey. We are here to make sure that you can be no different than us and fast track that investing experience so you can reach your real estate goals. My name is Shawn McEnteer. I'm the house hacking realtor and the team leader of the Living in North Jersey real estate team. The reason I make these videos that are specific to multifamily investment properties is because they are not the same when it comes to buying and selling. So for example, a property with a septic system, you're gonna be all right with if it's single family, not the end of the world. You know, you go, you do inspections, and hopefully everything's working in good functioning matter of fact, I just closed on a property with a septic system this week and it was a great transaction. Everything went well. But if that was a multifamily, I would be very, very hesitant to recommend that to my clients, because if you do not know what's being put down the toilets, what's going into the septic, you can't control it. Whereas if you are living in the property, it's not a rental property, you're living there, you can watch over everything that's going down your drain. If it's a multi, you hope for the best, and obviously sometimes things happen. You just don't know what's going on. Replacing a septic system is extremely expensive. Unclogging a drain, not the end of the world if something goes into the sewer line and they're putting down things they shouldn't be. But in a septic system, it can be extremely, extremely costly to fix. So I do not like buying multifamilies that have septic systems attached to them. Good news is most areas in northern New Jersey are not using septic for multifamily. This one might sound obvious, but it's happening all the time. Don't be buying a multifamily in a flood zone. Not only is it going to be a pain in the butt dealing with insurance and dealing with rehabs and dealing with the possibility of flooding, but you also have to deal with tenants, their belongings, their phone calls, their texts, and that's a lot to deal with. Where if you're gonna know that a property's gonna flood, why not just pass over it, go to the next one, so you don't have to have these headaches that are gonna be a lifetime. Every time it rains, anytime there's a hurricane, anytime something major happens, you're gonna be thinking, is it gonna flood this time, is it not? Kind of sitting on thin ice there, so it's like a ticking time bomb. I get phone calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you looking to buy, sell, and invest in northern New Jersey. So if you're looking to make a move in 9 days or 90 days, it doesn't make a difference. If you want to hang out with some of my awesome clients, you want to hang out with us and find some investment properties, this is the perfect channel for you. Make sure to click subscribe. Next one, there's a lot of talk about this going on, and that's like ADUs and extra units and what's going on. Well, plain and simple, there's a really easy way of looking at this. If the unit is illegal and you need that unit to produce in order for your property to be a good investment, that's not a good property. If you must rent it out illegally, it is not a good property. So whether you have a unit in the basement that's a separate unit, or maybe even in the attic and it's not legal, you want to avoid these types of properties. If you come across a property, maybe you can convert space in the basement, maybe you can make it part of the first floor unit, or you can convert it, that's good, that's the way to go. Have a good time with that. But if you are banking on the shed in the backyard somehow is going to be converted into a unit and that's going to give you your cash flow, I would advise to stay away from this property. You want to make sure that you have a clear path to getting to your goals that is done legally without illegal units, because anyone can come in at any time and say, you got to stop doing this. And that is not a spot you want to be in, because the chances of you being able to now sell that property again, or you're going to have to reconfigure everything, it's not a good spot. So let's look at properties that make sense from a legal standpoint, with the number of units, the occupancy of the units, the bedrooms and everything else, and then try to add value. If they work from the get-go, now you can kind of explore some maybe extra ways of creating income. Next tip is pretty crucial, and you're gonna run into this very frequently, and that is cast iron pipes. It's common, especially in northern New Jersey. There's a lot of very old homes, and I am not an advocate of don't buy old homes. I think that's just doesn't make any sense. This area that we live in was developed in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even prior. You know, we personally have homes that are 1900, 1940, so they're older style homes, and to say that you can't buy them or you shouldn't buy them is gonna eliminate a lot of possibilities, especially on the multifamily front. But you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself when you do find these homes, and you're doing the proper inspections, and you're doing everything that's going to make sure that you know what is happening here. And one of the things you really want to watch out for is the cast iron piping, because it's old. It only lasts 100 years. So you have one that's original, there's a really good shot that there's going to be major corrosion going on. It's going to have to be fixed. Now, there's a couple different things you have to look at here. There's cast iron that are in the property where the toilets are, the stack unit, you might know it as, and that's where, you know, the plumbing main line goes into the sewer. So that right there, you can visually see, and you can say, okay, I'm gonna have to take it, replace it, put some PVC in. But there are aspects of the cast iron pipe that you're not gonna see, and that's what goes under the ground that goes to the sewer line. So you're always going to want to do a sewer line scan to make sure that the cast iron is in good working condition. If it is not working, we must renegotiate, we must get a credit. And I would say do not buy a property that has a major problem with the cast iron piping, because if you do, that is not cheap. You have to dig up the ground, you have to take out the piping, you have to do a lot of different stuff. Now look, if you're doing your research prior and you find out these are things that can be fixed, there are coatings that can go in to do a jet coat where it actually reestablishes the line and makes it very efficient for future use. But sometimes these joints literally don't line up on the piping, which is not good. A root gets into it. It could be a major, major problem. So we want to make sure you're doing your research up front when you see cast iron piping in particular, to make sure that you're protected. Really quick, I want to know, are you handy? Are you not handy? Do you want to buy a turnkey property or something that needs a little bit of work? Why don't you drop a comment below? Next is a huge no. Do not do this. Convert a single family into a multifamily. I run into it pretty frequently where people come to me and say, hey, why don't we just look at single families and we're gonna try and convert one into a multifamily. It is a massive undertaking. It is not as simple as putting an addition on to your home like a single family, where you build up, put some more bedrooms on, call it a day. Now this is way different here. You're talking about multifamily, meaning multiple units. So if you're gonna do any form of addition or renovation or getting it so you have two separate units, that means you have to do double of everything. You need to have 2 heat sources, 2 water heaters, 2 electric meters, 2 gas meters. You have to do everything that way. Otherwise, you're really losing money if you don't do it that way, because you have to pay for the bill yourself as the landlord. And then having a home that sets up in a perfect condition where it makes sense to do it, that is very, very, very rare to find. Last thing is getting the town to approve it. That is what could possibly be one of the most difficult sides of this. Even though it might be in an area that is zoned for multifamily, that does not mean that the town is going to let you do it. Doesn't mean the town wants more multifamilies. So getting this done, a single family to a multifamily, is a really, really, really tough thing to get done. And it's one of those things that I will say, do not even consider looking at. Let's just go buy that multifamily, renovate it, and turn it into a cash cow. Much easier, and you're 9 times out of 10, you're going to be in a good spot with the town. You might call me crazy on this one, but yeah, low rental comps. If you see low rental comps, you're not going to be a miracle worker and somehow just make your property into a cash cow. If you see the comps are low, your comps are going to be what the comps are going to be. That's what you have to base it on. So don't go out there thinking like, you know what, I'm just going to update everything, make it super luxurious, put on gold handlebars and everything's going to run to my property. It's not going to work like that unless you see comps to show that it is. So when you're looking at the rental comps, if the rental comps are low, not going to necessarily mean it's a bad deal. It's just you need to understand that your property is going to align with those comps. So you can't go out looking for low rental comps and expecting to get high returns. For more videos like this, make sure you click subscribe so you can be the first to know about what's happening in northern New Jersey, house hacking, investing, buying, and selling.